Hi guys, so we're going to have a look today at personal statements, the do's and don'ts, how to sell yourself to a university in 4,000 characters, because we absolutely want you to get this right. Okay, so today we're going to I'm going to take you through the tutorial to get you to see and understand what universities would like to see in a personal statement, and also to understand what it takes to write a competitive personal statement. And we will also be providing you with useful information and resources to assist you to write a personal statement that is effective and gets you the places that you wish to be gaining in order to be able to go to university. So let's start by thinking about what it is that you need to do first of all, and that is absolutely to register for UCAS. And you do this by going to UCAS Apply, and you go to 2021, and then you start your registration. You should have also received the UCAS Apply tutorial that has been sent to you by your SAM or your careers coach, and you will see how this is done. You thereby start your application, and you are covering the following sections within your UCAS Apply 2021 application. So I will not spend too much time on this because the UCAS Apply tutorial that went out last week does cover this, but basically there are 7 sections that you need to be completing, and the personal statement one is the one that we're spending time on today. Once you've completed all your sections within UCAS Apply, you view all details, and you are ready then to send your reference to your SAM or your careers coach at your college, and your predicted grades plus your reference from your teachers will be added. Then it is sent off to UCAS. So that is the process. But talking about the personal statement, well, there's a few bits that we would like to take you through this morning so that you can see what you're doing. So it really is the opportunity to sell yourself to the admissions teams at your chosen universities. You get up to 5 universities to choose. They're getting lots and lots and lots of applications from lots of young people and adults throughout the country and beyond. Why should yours be chosen? That's where you're coming from. You've got 4,000 characters, which is 47 lines to do this, and it needs to be clear, concise, and 100% relevant. And basically 47 lines looks like 1 page of A4 and 1 further paragraph. So it is not a lot, but it's got to be amazing. So we're going to have a little look at what you should and shouldn't be doing. So what do universities want to know? Remember that university admissions teams are reading these personal statements for the best part of probably 6 to 8 months in a year, and they really do have an impact on making a decision about whether you get an offer or not, particularly for courses that are highly competitive or that you need vocational sort of understanding, such as nursing, medicine, veterinary science. They really need to know that you are the right person for one of their places on their course. So what is it, the things they're looking for? And you could be talking about in your personal statement 5 to 6 paragraphs, probably 65 to 70% of what is in your personal statement should be dedicated to why this subject and your love for the subject, your interest, your further research, the reasons why your subjects that you currently study link to it, all the bits that show your major reasoning behind wanting to study the subject of your choice. So why that subject? What is it about that actual degree or foundation degree course that really interests you? What is it that has sparked that flame? this will come in your first paragraph, so make that first paragraph the hook that pulls people in. It could be something you've seen, something you've observed, somewhere you've visited, something you've studied at college, something that is part of your family that you've lived with. Could be absolutely anything. Bring them in, bring the reader in. What is it that makes you such a brilliant applicant that they've got to have you? So, experience around the actual subject. So what have you done to show that this is actually the right course for you? Have you read around the subject? Well, you should have. If you go to websites such as Causeway, .ac.uk, you will see that Causeway Education do a lot around this. Think about what you've studied and read in your actual A-levels or BTEC at the moment. How do they link to the subject that you're hoping to study at university? Think about any activities that you do. It might be volunteering. At this point in time with our lockdown, it could be virtual work experience, of which there is quite a bit about. And certainly Lindsay Wright, our industrial work placement coordinator, can help you to look at this if you need some help. It might be that you're fascinated about building things, architecture and marine stuff, whatever it might be, and you've looked into it some more. So what sparks your interest? Where's your experience? What have you done outside of the classroom to prove that you absolutely do get this beyond what you've read in a prospectus or online from a university? So show them that you really do relate to the course. So what are you interested in? Remember, 65 to 70% of what you are writing is about why you want to study that subject, where's your extracurricular, where's your further study, research, visiting, work experience, etc. So once you've done all of that, you've still got at least 1 or 2 paragraphs to add about you. Who are you? What are you interested in? Remember, whoever reads this will not have ever met you before, may not meet you if you don't get this one right. So what do you do outside of your studies? Are you somebody who works or volunteers on a part-time basis? What skills have you gained from this? Do you get involved in sport, football, hockey, running? Do you even just go out and enjoy the countryside because you're very fortunate, you live in rural areas? What is different about where you come from that actually will bring something else to the experience of the young people or adults that are on your course as well that come from other parts of the country? So what makes you who you are? Give them a taste of that. And then what ideas do you have after university? So if you do, make sure that you add that, because that's about progression. It's showing that you're not just thinking, I'm going to uni. You're thinking, where does university and the degree take me? Because again, you will be working for 30 to 40 years, and we want to make sure that they can see that there is a plan in action. If there isn't, it could be that you've got particular strengths or ideas that you want to add in there about maybe doing further academic study, etc. And if you're applying for a deferred place, which means that you go the following year, talk about why you've decided to take a gap year. What are your plans? Because a year is a long time. You could be traveling for 8 months. You could be working for 12 months. Doesn't matter what it is. It's about saying, these are my plans, this is what I'm going to do, and these are the skills I'm hoping to gain. So again, you're always showing that there is a plan in action, whether it be with the degree, with anything you do beyond the degree, and with your deferred place if you go for one. And then finally, you'll have a short paragraph saying, just finishing it off, a conclusion. People find that difficult. but it's tying the threads together around, I'm looking forward to the degree, it's going to give me X, Y, and Z that I haven't experienced before. So think about what the degree is bringing to you that actually you may not have experienced before. It could be something such as just living away from home, studying in a different way, studying something very different to what you've currently been studying. So think about that one as well. Okay, so the big one that I've said, 65 to 70%, why that course? Universities want to see you're passionate about the subject, but they really want to see the evidence behind that word passion. They don't actually want to see the word passion, because it's like using the word interesting. Why is it interesting? Why is it passionate? What we're talking about is you've got to go behind the word to show them why you are passionate about what you want to study without that word. So you can do this by showing how you've explored your interest in the subject to much greater depth than what you might have covered in a classroom setting or by some of your initial reading. So if you're applying for English literature, for example, are there certain authors and genres that you enjoy? Has this taken you from reading the books of whoever to going and visiting where they may have set those books, or to have read other things by authors that are explaining about the life of that particular author? If you're interested in mathematics or chemistry, what is it about those subjects that you are fascinated about? Have you then gone and researched into a particular area of maths or chemistry? Have you done any virtual work experience picking this up? Because it does exist. Have you been on webinars, particularly this year that universities are offering around the subject? Really pack in where your further and your extracurricular experience comes from, because just being passionate is not enough. If you're applying for something practical or an area of study that's vocational, like nursing, like teaching, semi-vocational but very popular like law, have you been out there and gained experience? I know at the moment work experience is hard to come by, but virtual work experience does exist. Certain law firms, and we do have websites that we can make you aware of, are offering virtual work experience. If you look at when things start opening up, if it's hard to find experience in a law setting, for example, you can find out about going to the local magistrates court at Great Yarmouth and sitting in to watch cases. Don't just talk about, I went to the magistrates court. Talk a little about, add a little about what you saw, what you experienced, and so what? What did you learn? Remember the so what question, because that's what's adding the extra that's going to make you recruitable onto a course. So instead of saying, since I was young, I've always been interested in, what you've really got to do is push the fact that you have researched beyond the obvious, outside of the classroom. You've been out there, you've looked online, you might have attended virtual or actual work experience, and you've really packed in the evidence to show that you've gone the extra and a half to be a good candidate for what might be a very popular course. So things that you do and shouldn't be doing. So when you've written your personal statement, remember guys, this is going to take 5 to 8 rewrites. You won't have written it all in one take. That doesn't happen. So what does your personal statement show? Is it clear to read and easy to understand? Even if it's packed with evidence, which is what I've just been talking about, is it still very easy to understand? Does the personality of the person that has written it. So do you shine through? Can you see yourself in it? Give it to a friend, give it to a parent, give it to a teacher that knows you well. Is this me? Ask them, because what an admissions tutor is doing is trying to see the sparkle in your personal statement, that you're an intelligent person who knows what they're applying for, who's actually done all the hard work to prove that they're brilliant and they should be given a chance, but that you can see them and that they look like the sort of person that's going to engage with others, and at the end of the day get a good degree at the end of that course. That's what they're looking for. So does your personality shine through? And have you done your research when you're talking about stuff that's evidence? So show them how much you've found out. And really remember the so what question. If you add something, so what? What else can you say to underpin it, to prove that you actually know what you're talking about? Things you absolutely have to avoid. Spelling mistakes, which you know, but double check and triple check. SANs are happy to read your personal statement. So are your careers coach at East Coast College. Ask teachers. Make brothers and sisters who've been to uni or at uni are very helpful. Make sure that other people read your personal statement before it's ready to go into your UCAS application, to check for spelling errors, to check for the personality, to see you're there. Don't add course details because that is not necessary or expected. We're talking about overall interest and dedication and an inquisitive mind and a little bit of understanding about what you're applying for, but not actual course details, because that's not expected. Your UCAS application will go to 5 universities. They don't know where else you've applied. They don't need to know. They don't expect to know. So no course details. Please don't copy. Plagiarism software is used by UCAS. I've had instances of students where their application has been rejected by UCAS. It's extremely and excruciatingly embarrassing. So don't plagiarise, don't exaggerate, because these guys who read UCAS applications and personal statements are so used to doing it. They're fantastically good at this. It is their job. They're academic admissions tutors. They'll teach on the courses you want to go on, so you can't make it painful for them by exaggerating. You've got to make this a brilliant piece of work. Okay, so think carefully about what you write. It's all about you, so please no one let anybody else write it. It doesn't work if they do, so remember to write it yourself. Get someone to read it, get several people to read it. Be accepting of the fact that 5 to 7 or 8 rewrites is acceptable because it has to be good. And if they've proofread it, then we're ready to go on to the next stage. Once it's spell checked, because UCAS doesn't do that, and again, it is painful to see spelling mistakes in personal statements. Once it's all ready, then you will cut and paste from Word into your application the personal statement. It's got to meet the 4,000 characters. If it does, then it just goes in and you see 1 to 47 come down on one side of the page to tell you it meets it. If you don't see the 1 to 47, then you can rest assured that actually it's too long. Some of it's been chopped. You've got to go back and do some more work on it. So do not assume that if you don't see 1 to 47 down one line, one side of your UCAS application, don't assume that that is right, that it's ready to go. It's only ready to go when you've seen that 1 to 47. But again, your SAM or careers coach will check that with you, but it's got to be perfect. Okay, so this is going to take time. Guys, give yourself the time to do the research, to get the evidence, to build up your knowledge, to read you know, journals, newspapers, watch TV, get out there and have a look, get the virtual work experience together. Give yourself from now until September, October to get this right, because 15th of October, we're sending the competitive applications off to Oxbridge, dentistry, medicine, vet science, and 13th of November, we're sending everybody else's application off. So those are your deadline dates. That's what you've got to meet. We've got to have everything ready by early October, early November. So you've got time to do this, but time means that you're actually working on it. So please start now. And there's many ways that you can get help with writing your personal statement. In college, speak to your SAM or your careers coach. Speak to Marie, who's the careers coordinator at Lowestoft 6, that's me. And we will work through it with you if you get stuck. Speak to your subject teachers, particularly if you're planning to take their subject at uni. But even if you're not, they know you, they know the quality of your work, and they know how you've been performing. So talk to them, they're very helpful when it comes to making such decisions. Outside college, there are many places where you can help, where you can find help online. UCAS Hub has a really useful personal statement builder. So once you've registered on UCAS, play with UCAS Hub, build up your course choices, but also use their personal statement builder, as it will ask you questions that will help you develop your statement. A lot of universities have personal statement support under outreach, so have a little look as well. If you get stuck and want some help, then certainly I am aware of stuff. You can come and see me at Lowestoft 6 Form, and other SAMs and careers coaches are as well. Universities at the moment are giving loads of help around application, personal statement writing, making the right decision about going to university or not. And it's all out there on webinars, through courses, through free resources on their websites. Keep an eye on departmental Instagram, because lots of our Lowestoft 6 Form College subject departments, so English, maths, forensics, art, photography, and more, geography, environmental science. There are so many that are putting lots of information out there for students around courses. I know sports science have done a lot as well. So be aware, follow people that teach you on Instagram. They're giving you lots of help. Maths is out there as well. So I might have missed people, and I'm sorry if I have, but your subject, your teachers are putting stuff on Instagram to push you in the right direction. Use what's out there online. Come and speak to SAMs or the careers coaches or myself if you need more help. Guys, all the very best. Enjoy it. Make you shine through, and make sure that you really prove that you are worthy of a place on a course that is probably competitive. Okay, goodbye. Thank you and good luck.